Welcome to episode 12 of the 716 Sports Entertainment Podcast, where we're going to break down Friday Night SmackDown for you guys. And boy, oh boy, did we have a hell of a SmackDown last night. One of the best SmackDowns of the year. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the news going on in the world of professional wrestling, because there's a lot of stuff to talk about. As always, I am Mike with 716 Sports Entertainment, joined by Mr. T. Reese and Mr. Sean O'Neill. And we're going to break it all down for you guys. And as always, please like and subscribe. We're trying to get to 100 subs. We're almost more than halfway there. And guys, it's been a really fun roller coaster. I can't believe we're already on our 12th episode already. So let's go. And also keep an eye in the description as well for our NFL content as well. We plugged all those videos there, and I think you guys are going to like it. If you're NFL fans, if you're football fans, if you're Buffalo Bills fans, I think you'll enjoy the discourse and some of the commentary. So guys, let's get right into it. We'll start with the news first. Some of the big things coming out that I've seen over the last week or so since WrestleMania has ended. And I want to get your guys' takes on how you feel about these individual kind of topics. And then I kind of want to touch on something we talked about at WrestleMania too. But first, let's talk about Mariah May. It seems like she is very likely to be getting an offer from WWE. There were multiple reports out there that she's going to be fielding a contract sooner or later. So, what do we think, Sean? I'll kick it over to you because I know you had some opinions on her in the past. Do you think she signs? And if so, do you think it's a good move?
So I was just actually, it's funny. Just reading an article about it that WWE is apparently prepared to offer her a significant amount of money to make the jump over. My only question is, where does she go? Because if you're paying her a significant amount of money, I feel like she has to go right to a main roster spot. But I'm a little bit worried about her getting lost in the shuffle of all the different women and them trying to tell all their individual stories without turning them into like jokes. Like I could see hopefully WWE not bringing her in and making her part of the Secret Service or something stupid along those lines. Because as shown in that brutal blood feud she had with Tony Storm and that final match, she can not only is she drop dead gorgeous, but she's willing to go like the distance in these matches. I mean, that last match was absolutely brutal between the two of them, and I don't know. I think similar to like Stephanie McCur, I've heard that it was her ultimate dream to be part of WWE. So I think it'll end up happening.
Well, I mean, this is what AEW did to themselves. So, I mean, what else are you going to do? They're just going to keep harvesting all those women because they got some good women talent over there, but they're just going to keep harvesting them. All their top talent, as soon as their contract is up, it's not even going to be a secret no more. They're all heading to WWE. I mean, Britt Baker, as soon as her contract, when that is, she'll be over at WWE. They'll all be there. And I wouldn't be surprised. They start leaving, you're going to start seeing some of the men start creeping away for the AEW. WWE is going to have a few. I mean, again, I don't know what the plan is with all these signings by WWE. We'll see if they can put it all together. But I would love to see her in WWE. She would be a great addition to that women's division. But I do believe that she should probably go to NXT first. She's an unknown right now. I mean, in terms of the hardcore fans know who she is, and if you're an AEW fan. But as far as WWE fan, if you're a WWE fan, you probably don't even know nothing about her or seen very much from her. So I would use NXT, same thing they did with Ricky Saints.
Yeah, completely agree with you there. I think that she definitely should start there, and then, because it doesn't seem like it's going to be very long before Julia and Stephanie Vaquer are on the main roster. They're already feuding with people on the main roster, so it's only a matter of time before that happens. We do have some more roster news as well. It seems like Alexa Bliss is set to return soon with the Wyatt Six.
My God.
They had made note that after what had happened on Monday Night Raw, Gunther is suspended indefinitely, which means he's probably taking some time off. And I mean, good for him. I mean, the guy deserves it. And similarly with Cody as well, it seems like Cody is going to be off for a while. We might not see him until Money at the Bank. So, what do you guys think about the roster news so far?
Did they give a storyline reason as far as Cody?
Mm-mm.
Just that he just wouldn't be back.
Just taking time off.
And we all know that Gunther and we how that WWE suspensions are worth about absolutely nothing since half the time the people just show up and beat the hell out of anyone anyway. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Gunther just choking Pat McAfee out from behind over the next couple episodes.
Well, I think it's perfect. It's perfect time. Both those guys took a loss at WrestleMania. Take them off the camera for a little bit, because, like I said, we've had that discussion before. The best thing to do for a lot of these wrestlers is take them off camera. This way, you're not saturating us with it. I mean, Cody's been on TV for what, 2 straight years now?
Every episode, both shows. Yeah.
Yeah, and no rest. He deserves some time off. Gunther took a crazy loss that we didn't expect. Take him off camera. Let the last thing we remember is that. More than likely, from what I'm hearing, the rumors are is him. He's supposed to fight Goldberg, I guess.
Yeah, it's going to be the SummerSlam thing.
Yeah, so let him take off for the next couple of months, and then you bring him back in, let him do something crazy, then Goldberg shows up, or he comes out during Goldberg or something like that.
Yeah.
So
I was thinking about it. You know who would be really good and really interesting for a Gunther match would be Miro and Gunther. I'm sorry, Rusev and Gunther.
That'd be a lot of fun.
yeah, but the only problem with that is you just brought Rusev back. You're going to squash him right away.
Not necessarily. You have it be some sort of hard hitting match that ends in like a double count out or something.
Yeah, but I mean, but like I said, for him, you got to reintroduce his character, and you got to start getting involved in some story. I would love to see that match. Don't get me wrong. I just think it's too early. Kind of like once we go over SmackDown. I got some comments about SmackDown.
So do I.
Yeah, and the last piece of news I really wanted to talk about before we get into the recap of the show is Reese. We didn't really get a chance to talk to you too much about Rock the Dwayne Johnson, and I just want to go over the highlights because Rock the Dwayne Johnson has had a hell of a week this week, kind of doing his publicity, nonsense bullshit that he has done. So, just so we're clear. Everything I'm going to take you guys through what I put in my notes for what The Rock has done this week. And I want to get your honest feedback on what you think of him as a human being after I go through this. So let's start with last week for WrestleMania. The Rock no shows WrestleMania, completely kills the biggest story in professional wrestling, and in my opinion, harmed all of the talent in that story. Then goes on a podcast and said that ticket sales were slow for Elimination Chamber, which was turned out to be a lie because they were not slow. There's been numerous reports that it was practically sold out before any extra addition of Dwayne. So when they announced Dwayne like 3 weeks out, he moved like another 4,000 tickets. Okay, whatever, right? Then he admitted that he came up with the storyline. This is when he was talking to McAfee. He came up with the storyline and then had no intention of being a part of the end of the storyline for Cena and Cody. He was just like, I'm gonna just come and introduce it and then have no part of the end of it whatsoever. I'm just gonna wash my hands of it. Then after it turns out that the fans were just like, this is kind of crap, then he comes out and says, well, I think I would have, quote, finessed the ending of the show a bit differently. And then finally, he goes on and tells fans, hey guys, it's all a work. You need to chill out and not act like this whole thing isn't scripted. You guys are being ridiculous, end quote. So he's a piece of shit. But I want to get your opinion on it. Reese, we'll start with you because you didn't get the 15 minutes that Sean and I did on the night 2 review. So take it away. Take it away.
Well, I mean, should I start with F-bombs?
I do whatever you got to do, man.
No,
I've got quite a few.
That's what I'm saying. I'm pretty sure you guys have sucked all the air out of that.
I have to click the explicit content button for this one.
Well, let's be honest, dude. The Rock has always been Hollywood. That's where he is now. It's where he's putting his roots now. And once you reach that celebrity status, you forget all the people below you. And then you start losing the fact of you have no, self-awareness of yourself, because then you start becoming a narcissist. And that's basically what The Rock is currently. He's a narcissist. This guy thinks that everywhere he goes, everything else should revolve around him. And the thing is like, he's not understanding that he should just stay back, man. If you're not going to be involved, just stay out the way. They don't need you in wrestling right now. There's no need for you. You almost ruined last year's WrestleMania. Think about it. You almost ruined last year's WrestleMania. He tried to ruin this year's WrestleMania. Is anyone going to point that out? He's literally purposely trying to ruin WrestleMania. So, quite frankly, if you ask me, he's the biggest piece of shit in wrestling. Probably the biggest piece of shit in Hollywood, next to a few other ones. I think, again, he has no self-awareness. He really thinks that fans still like him. That's what he thinks. He thinks people still like him. And he has no idea. And that's because, I mean, with his schedule, I probably understand why he doesn't know it, because the guy's always doing something. I didn't even know where the thing is, I didn't understand too, is I know what his work schedule, you know what his schedule's like. So why would he even commit to a WrestleMania to begin with?
Right.
Well, this was him being self-absorbed. He wanted to be on TV. He showed up probably unannounced and forced Triple H to put him in there. This is why I guess what the board had a conversation with him. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah, allegedly that Ari Emanuel from TKO said, we need you there to move ticket sales, allegedly, for Elimination Chamber, which, after looking at all the statistics and stuff like that, it's kind of bullshit. He really didn't move that many tickets. Like, I mean, you had one of the biggest chamber matches ever with Cena, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre. I mean, Damien Priest, whatever. But I mean, really? That match wasn't gonna move tickets? Get the F out of here.
No. This is the board covering up for The Rock, because he inserted himself like he did last year into WrestleMania.
Yep.
And that's where the problem is. And unfortunately, Triple H has no control over it, because this idiot's part of the board, which I don't even know why he's part of the TKO board. It's just, I mean, probably just to get more, obviously it's to make more money for himself, but still, if you're going to put him on the board for that reason, don't let him get involved in any of this, especially if he has no place. And, TKO can single-handedly ruin WWE. And this is the one thing with having Vince there and not having one of these type of boards available who can just go in here and just do whatever they want. Too many different ideas, too many people doing their own thing. That was one of the positives, having Vince just be in full control. But again, the downside is that, obviously what we got out of Vince. So I don't know which way you go. Maybe you go the AEW route, own the company yourself and just do whatever the hell you want. Maybe that's the best way to go. But hey, it's what it is. They're a corporation now. They're now dealing with boards and stocks and stuff. So this is what we're going to get. But he's a real piece of shit. If you're going to sit there and you're going to become self-absorbed and think that you just need to put yourself into something because you're The Rock, you can kiss my black ass.
That's what I was waiting for.
Because you ruined WrestleMania. We were all looking forward to that. And then we come to find out you really had no plans to do anything. You just want to put your stupid ass on TV.
Yeah. Couldn't be bothered sending Travis fucking Scott out there. And I really want to stress, no disrespect to Travis Scott, but really, that was the payoff. Travis Scott punches Cody, and then Cody gets kicked in the dick and hit in the face with the title. And that is the payoff to the guy who ended Roman Reigns' 1,300 fucking day title reign. A kick to the dick. Ended the title reign of the guy who beat Roman Reigns, who held the belt for 4 fucking years. Get out of here.
I think it's really telling, his comment about finessing the end of the match, and what that tells you about his opinion of Triple H as a writer. And when you take into account the fact, and mind you, I was talking to one of our viewers, Alex, about this, and one of the things that is going to be a nightmare with dealing with Dwayne here is he has his own writer. How are you supposed to tell a coherent story when you have him?
Sorry, Sean, it's not one. He has a team.
I know but he has at least one main guy that specifically writes for him, that literally follows him around all over the place. And so how if you're Triple H, who I feel bad for, how are you supposed to tell a coherent story when Dwayne could show up whenever the hell he wants and be like, well, this is the story now? And where's any payoff going to be for any of that? And earlier I made a comment that The Rock's ego is starting to become like Hogan's, but I actually think Rock's ego might be worse because Hogan at least stayed in the industry. Hogan was at least always there in wrestling. He didn't leave and act like he knew better than the business, and
Mhm.
at least until after he became a reality star and was done wrestling. But Hogan was always part of the promotions. Okay, so The Rock got to leave, go become world famous in Hollywood for playing basically the same exact role of a meathead every single time, and somehow he has all the power in the world to get whatever the hell he wants. Like I get it, he's a multi-billionaire action star now, but just because he knows that stuff doesn't mean that he has the knowledge or anything to do this. And it's a slap in the face to his own heritage to come in and destroy the business the way he is.
That's the thing. I don't think he thinks that he's doing that, but I mean,
Well, again, that's my point. He's a narcissist.
yeah.
But hey, guys, it's all it
I
works.
hate using that word because I think it's used way too much. But if you're going to use somebody as an example of a narcissist, it's this guy. This guy is so full of himself. And this is the reason why he does what he does in wrestling. And then they allow him to do it because he's The Rock. Same thing in Hollywood.
Yeah.
They make such a big deal about how history means so much to the Samoan dynasty, yet you're going to let one man single-handedly ruin that. Like, I'm sorry, but you're a piece of shit, Dwayne, and you need to stay away from wrestling.
Completely agree. So let's kick off SmackDown, where we had a hell of a show. And we get right down to the SmackDown proper for this. So the show started off with John Cena coming to the ring, and John Cena had his really cool entrance again with the all black, with the arena went with just the white lettering that said John Cena, and came out to the ring, had the announcer again announced him as the last real champion. We didn't get the date thing that we got before, but that was still pretty cool to see that. And before he even got a word out comes one Randall Keith Orton. And these two guys, initially the promo kind of went off a little weird, in my opinion, where Randy was like, Cena, you need to have kids because you have a void in your life. And then Cena kind of went on about how I don't need kids because I've been raising all these kids. And then some little kid in the audience gave him the finger and he called it out like numerous times and called the kid's dad a loser like three times. It seemed like the dude was gonna like jump because it was pretty like hot, and it seemed like the dude was gonna jump the railing and like come after Cena, but the promo got a little bit better. They had made mention that Cena's going to erase Randy's family from wrestling, and like when he takes the title, when this is all said and done, Randy's 14 championships are going to go back to one if he ever wins again. So, he made mention again that the last real champ, that he is the last real champ. Then he went to kind of go for a cheap shot on Randy, hit him, knocked him down a few times, ran over to the corner with the title and was about to clock him with it. Randy ducks, hits him with an RKO. And then a bit later in the show, it obviously was going to get made official for Backlash. We all knew that this was coming, but hell of a segment, and I enjoyed the crap out of it. So, what do you guys think?
Well, I'm honestly, first of all, Cena taking everybody's finishers, I think is part of the deal for the ride here.
Yeah.
He's going to take a finisher in promos multiple times from all the top talent currently running in the WWE because it's happening too much now. Okay, because now he looks like an idiot in the ring. He can't hit nobody or jump nobody or anybody. Fine, that's gonna be fun to watch.
Yeah.
But what did I say the last time about that belt? And they keep referencing it. The end of the belts.
Yeah.
And he said it last night. This is going to be the end of this belt. And this is not the first time he said it. I'm telling you. They're changing the belts. All the belts are going to change. At least the championship belt is going to change. Guaranteed. After him announcing it again last night and making a point of saying it, the belts are gone. It's going to be a whole new row of belts. It's going to look all different. Everything's going to look different.
He's going to bring back the red Universal title.
The Blue Universal Championship.
Yeah.
No, I could see them introducing some sort of new belt. It's been a little while since we've had one, and what better time to put some more merch out there than when TKO wants more money. Um, but I don't know. It's gonna be crazy to see someone like Orton wrestle circles around Cena because Orton is still in way better ring shape. And considering that they're both the same age and are right around the same amount of career with each other, I think it's gonna be pretty funny seeing the two of them in the ring together, even though we know that Orton's not gonna stand a chance. Um, I think that the story of this Cena reign is gonna be him constantly trying to cheap shot people,
Mhm.
and that be how he gets over. I wouldn't be surprised if that's how he wins at Backlash again, is through some sort of like Travis Scott's going to pop out of his pocket and dick kick Randy. Um, some some stupid cheap shot, something along those lines. And I'm already seeing that being the path that this title reign takes. Kind of similar to the feud between AJ Styles and Shinsuke, where the story of the feud was how many dick punches could happen. I think it's going to be sort of similar to that.
Yeah, agree. So we had our first debut call up for WWE here, and we saw Fraxium coming to the SmackDown roster. Both Frazier and Axiom making their way up there, and immediately into a match with Legado del Fantasma. And I mean, other than this was off the chain amazing. Like, what else did you expect? Fraxium looks awesome. I mean, they're so fast, they're so fluid. They look like such a good tag team, bringing right up what they, left when they left NXT. And I mean, these guys are going to be in the picture, in the title picture, probably pretty quickly. I mean, they look fantastic. Legato did a great job making them look real good. I mean, Berto and Angel are, they're true professionals. They look really, really good. And that Spanish fly to Phoenix splash thing that he did to end it there, that Frazier did, off, like, just off the chain. I loved everything about this match, and I'm really glad to see Fraxium on SmackDown.
It's nice to see somebody besides Seth Rollins using the Phoenix Splash. It's it's a top rope move that's not used frequently enough, in my opinion. And the only thing I'm curious about is why SmackDown for them. I kind of feel like they would have been better off going to Raw for the tag team division over there, because at least with SmackDown you already have several tag teams that can help carry the division,
Mhm.
whereas Raw is lacking in that department. And I will say though, I'm very happy that they didn't decide to separate the two of them. I think Frazier and Axiom are much better as a team than they would be as individual wrestlers, regardless of how talented they are. And I think, like you said, that they definitely are going to be future champions, not sooner, probably rather than later.
Yeah, you mentioned that on our NXT Stand and Deliver review.
Yeah. I thought they were going to come up after Mania too. I really thought that and they put on a great show. I mean, it couldn't get any better than that for a debut match for a tag team. And I think it was right, like you said, Sean, to keep them together. Because I think a lot of times what happens is with WWE and their size difference in wrestlers, it's hard to keep pushing smaller wrestlers against the Randy Ortons and even the John Cenas and stuff because they're so much bigger than these guys. So some of these guys, they all can't be singles wrestlers. So you
No,
do have to keep them as tag teams. And this is one of the better formed tag teams probably in all of wrestling right now. This is definitely, top three. It doesn't get any better than these two guys. They put on a show. I mean, that 450 splash was, I mean, he does it effortlessly.
Oh
Like
yeah.
some people wait, they'll get to the top and wait a second before they jump. He gets right up there and jumps. There's
Mhm.
no hesitation with either one of these guys with any of their moves. So, yeah, hats off to them. I probably would give that match B plus. I give that match a B plus.
Yeah, absolutely. Next we had it's Tiffy time. She came out with the all the smiles in the world after beating Charlotte Flair and retaining that title. She looked good. This segment got interesting real quick though because she was interrupted by Jade Cargill, and this led to just an impromptu match. I mean, they just had a match, and I was kind of surprised that that happened. Like they just sort of gave it to them quickly, but we kind of knew where this was going to go, sort of like, off the rails real quick. Naomi came out and attacked Jade again, and then Tiffany kind of chased Naomi out of the ring after Jade rolled out of the ring. But then the worst thing happened ever. It was a returning Nia Jax who attacked Tiffany Stratton, and we're going to do this thing again.
Why?
Go
Why?
ahead. Go ahead, Sean.
Why are we going back to Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton? I thought we were already past this. We got past the Jax effect. We don't need to see this again. I can see TR just shaking his head. I know he's going to agree with me. They're not going to be able to do anything. There's no new storytelling that's going to come out of this. It's literally going to be them rehashing what we saw 4 months ago. And I mean, how long before we see Candice LeRae back helping Nia Jax again? And it's literally going to be the same story all over again. However, to offshoot from that, I will say I'm happy to see the Naomi Jade thing still continuing. I was worried that with Jade winning at Mania, that story was completely over. So I'm glad it's not. And part of me wonders if this is where we inevitably see our Bianca heel turn, with Bianca now maybe getting involved in that story once again. But now, T, go ahead and say your piece on Miss Jax.
Well, it's not even that. It's just like, what are we doing? I mean, you just had her beat Charlotte Flair. And then for no apparent reason, you have Jade call her out just so she can get jumped. That I didn't understand. I mean, like, why, you didn't even have to bring her in to do that. You could have brought somebody else. I mean, why? I mean, she just won the match. I don't understand it. And then the Jade thing, too soon. There's no reason for her to even have an interaction with Stratton right now. I mean, and then she tried to announce that Naomi thing was over with, and I'm sitting there like, huh? We're just going to end that storyline? Yeah, none of this. I thought it didn't. This match didn't help either one of them. That's what it was. Neither one of them were helped with this whole back and forth and wrestling. I didn't understand it. And we got to stop with the Nia Jax stuff. I just don't know who it is on the TKO board that she.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, you do. Rock the Dwayne.
Bringing her back.
It's Dwayne.
It's unbelievable. She has no business being in a ring right now. She's so limited, so repetitive, and this is what you're getting another repetitive storyline out of her. Yep. I have no use for her at all. The Naomi thing is interesting, but they didn't have to use Tiffany Stratton to bring out her and Nia. That made no. It was just too much. Well, but no, Nia Jax. I'm ready to be done with her. I can't watch her matches because they're not even matches when you watch her wrestle. It's just her grabbing somebody and just throwing them. That's all she does.
So was it a mistake then to have Jade beat Naomi if you're going to continue this?
Hey,
I think so. I think
you guys both picked her.
I agree. It was ridiculous. I thought for sure Naomi was going to win that match, and they should have let her win that match if you want to keep drawing the storyline out. Because now, what's the point? She already beat her.
Right. It's you're right, T. Like it makes this story a little bit nonsensical unless they go the route of, well, yeah, you may have beaten me, but you didn't get rid of me, and I'm going to keep stalking you and tormenting you. But I think the story would have been much better served had Naomi won, because then you have Jade still chasing that win. And just to comment on your point about why Jade Tiffany here, didn't Jade call Tiffany out basically that she should be next for a shot at the title? Wasn't that the whole point of this match?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And don't forget too, there's some rumors about Ronda Rousey.
Oh God, no.
God, no.
Yes, there are some rumors saying
God, no.
She may be involved in that Evolve pay-per-view, that all women's pay-per-view.
God, I hope not.
I gotta side with Mike there. I hope it fails if she's involved.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Are you going to let Nia Jax or not Naomi and Bianca keep attacking Jade? Or did you call in Ronda Rousey? Because that's the odd thing they're doing right now. They're just calling in some odd person who has nothing to do with a storyline, and they're plugging them right in.
Yeah,
just like Becky Lynch. You turned her heel right after WrestleMania. See, that's why I said there was no point in bringing her back. I don't know what's going on.
I'm going to call it now. The main event of Evolve is going to be Charlotte Flair versus The Rock.
Yeah.
Jeez. So let's kick it over to we'll go through the whole segment. We'll go through both segments regarding the United States title and everything that happened with this. So first we had Jacob Fatu coming out to celebrate his newly won US title. And you can immediately see the tension between him and Solo, where Jacob was basically yelling at Solo, being like, I told you so, I told you so, and I didn't need anything. I got this on my own. And he was quickly interrupted by LA Knight, who said he wants his rematch. And then it was interesting. They kind of like helped to sort of evolve this story a little bit by putting Drew McIntyre in. And Drew McIntyre and LA Knight, it really seems like the two of them don't like each other all that much because they were both really dogging on each other pretty hard. But it was quickly broke down where they were yelling at each other. Aldis came out and made a number one contender match for later on in the show. Then whichever one of those guys wins gets a shot at Jacob for the US title. So if we skip ahead a little bit in the show, we did end up having that match, and it was a fine match, but obviously it kind of devolved into chaos at the end. Solo interfered and hit LA Knight with a spike, and then Damian Priest came out and hit Drew with I think it was the South of Heaven. And then at the end, Jacob took them all out. So where do we go from here? Fatal four-way? I mean, what did you guys think of the whole segment involving Drew and everything that's going on with the US title?
Can I ask a question real quick? Am I an idiot or was Fatu's shirt on backwards?
I think it was just the way the shirt was. Like it looked like he
Okay.
was like wearing a jersey that had his name and like the number 52 on it.
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure I wasn't losing my mind there.
It did look awkward on him, but us bigger guys, man, shirts kind of look weird on us sometimes. No, but hey, listen, they need to be smart. If they were really smart right now, you ride this Sokoa and Solo and Fatu thing. That's what you would ride out right now. Don't involve him in any type of title confrontations with anyone else but Solo. And that was the whole point of that discussion between them two in the ring. I didn't understand. Again, like I said, that's why I said they need to make these shows a little longer or just combine all the shows into one continuous storyline because they're cramming. They're cramming wrestlers into the ring now. As you can see, Jay got crammed in, Nia got crammed in. Now you look at this match, all these guys got crammed in because they're trying to get them on camera. I don't know. I don't think it really matters. I think it's going to be Fatu and Solo. I think that's where this is going.
Yeah, I agree. That's clear direction for SummerSlam for the US title, like for the next 6 months of programming in and around everything for Bloodline 2.0.
I mean, ultimately that's been the payout for, like you said, for Bloodline 2.0, especially now with like Tama Tonga out injured too. So we won't be hearing his grumbling noises for a little while. But outside of that, you made the comment about Knight and McIntyre, and I legit think that their issue goes back to the issue that McIntyre had at the Royal Rumble with LA Knight, where McIntyre apparently went back and was like slamming shit in the backstage because he was so mad about LA Knight basically going into business for himself during the Rumble. So I think that if you're going to give me a feud between Knight and McIntyre, that kind of thing is going to help because look at how much it helped the real life animosity between McIntyre and Punk helped that feud. Give me a feud with some more real life hate in it and let them beat the hell out of each other, and I think you'll have good matches out of that. The only thing though, the odd man out here is Damian Priest. Like,
yeah, why are we continuing that?
Right, like I thought that was over. I thought the whole point of having a Sin City street fight and crushing his head with a chair was to end that whole storyline. Like, wasn't that supposed to be a one-off sort of thing? Like, at this point, why are we going back to the well so many times?
Yeah, it really does seem like we're going to get some kind of fatal four-way or maybe even fatal five-way at Backlash just between all of those guys. And I feel like that's got to wrap it up, right? I mean, I love that. I love the idea of, to your point, Sean, about Drew and LA Knight, with the real life heat, because Drew is really good at carrying that kind of stuff over. But something I just thought of while you were saying that, LA Knight, while he's very over with the crowd, he's not the kind of guy like they're gonna let go, obviously. And Terrence, you might have mentioned this a while ago about his age and like why they never really like pushed him as much as they did. But he really kind of seems like he's a bit of an asshole, like, doesn't he? Like just with the locker room and like everything else like that. Like he seems like he goes into business for himself like quite a bit.
Well, I think that was an issue that he had when he first came up. Remember, there was a lot of heat on him. They said he, with people backstage, he rubbed people the wrong way back there. So,
Hmm.
Vince especially.
yeah. So, I mean, that he has a history of this. It would seem. The only problem is that he gets a pop from the crowd,
Yeah.
and he's a pretty good wrestler.
Mhm.
I think WWE's kind of needs to have to keep having conversations with him, telling him, listen, man, you need to tone it down a little bit.
Yeah.
I did want to say this. The smart move would have been to take Damian Priest off of TV after the head smash.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know why they brought him back out of nowhere. So what they could have did was took him off TV for a while, wait for Drew to get involved in another storyline. Then you can bring him out and interfere in a match. He's back from injury. He calls Drew this or that or whatever. And then you could have just, I mean, if you wanted to write that storyline again, you could have did that and add another person into it. That's probably what they should have done. But I don't know why. Again, like I said, I think The Rock really disrupted a lot of plans. And I remember I was saying they had a lot going on before WrestleMania. And I think some storylines don't get the attention that it deserves because there's so much going on during WrestleMania. And now that we know The Rock really flipped the whole thing upside down, now they're trying to do damage control, I think, right now. And I think they have no answers. I think they're still trying to line up storylines. I mean, look how fast they're switching belts now.
Yeah. Speaking of switching belts, next we had Zelina Vega backstage with Byron Saxton, and she just mentioned that she's just happy to, kind of just a happy to be here kind of promo, right? And this led into a U.S. title match between Zelina Vega and Chelsea Green for the women's U.S. title. Zelina came out to the ring first in her awful, create a wrestler music. And then Chelsea came out with the Secret Service. And this match really, we kind of never really got a chance to get going. It wasn't really that great. Lots of interference. And like the ref was really kind of being like an idiot. And the commentary team like had made multiple mentions during this match that this ref just doesn't allow nonsense to happen, but there was so much nonsense happening. And finally, the ref did send them both to the back, both members of the Secret Service. And pretty much immediately after that happened, Zelina just won. Like she just won the match, and she's your new United States champion. So I'll kick this one over to you, Reese. What do you think about this? I know you mentioned obviously the flopping of all of the belts and everything, but is this the right move?
No, because I mean, right now that belt doesn't matter in the women's division. Nobody cares about that belt. They haven't put that belt on someone that drew that would draw enough eyes to it to make it popular or to make anybody care. And this is another example of they know that because that's why they just swapped the belt for no reason right now. I mean, this was just out of nowhere. We're just going to give her the belt.
Hmm.
So I think some of the stuff you saw on SmackDown was probably stuff that was planned for WrestleMania, but because of this stupid Rock changing the plans for that night too, it took time out. I mean, look, I hate to go back to it, but this is a result of like even when Travis Scott was walking down the arena, I'm like, why are you walking so slow? What are we doing? So the time it takes to get through these matches removes matches like this.
Mm-hmm.
This is a match that probably should have been at WrestleMania. It's a belt. I mean, there's very few belts that don't show up on WrestleMania. And this one went into a night where it didn't matter. And obviously WWE didn't think it mattered because they just swapped it out of nowhere. And the way the match finished, that shows you. I mean, I think they're going to reset. I think Zelina is going to be just a holdover person. I think they're going to probably bring somebody up from NXT that's going to take it.
Yeah. I mean, it was good to see her get a win. They said that she's never won a singles title before, so I'm happy for her for that. Like, and when we get into the next segment in a minute, I kind of think with the next debut that we had, I think it kind of makes a lot of sense given the real life relationship there. So, Sean, did you have any comments on this, or do you want me to just go to the next spot?
I think that Zelina deserved to be able to get a belt finally. They've been working towards this in this storyline. Um, And I think the bigger story coming out of this is they needed to get the belt off of Chelsea so that she can win the Money at the Bank briefcase.
Yeah,
I
we
mean,
have mentioned that a couple of times.
she is the third most important women's wrestler on the roster at the moment. So
So this led to a segment backstage with Miz and Carmelo Hayes. Miz had presented Carmelo Hayes with the gift of a big gold chain of with Andre the Giant's head on it, which looked ridiculous, but it was kind of cool. And they were both. Miz was really just kind of talking Carmelo Hayes up, and Miz had made mention that he's going to go to the ring and kind of get his own sort of justice here, if you will. Miz went out to the ring and cut a usual Miz promo where he's, I'm not appreciated. I've been in this business for 20 years. I beat John Cena at WrestleMania, and Cody Rhodes couldn't do it. Like he called out everybody, in typical Miz fashion, where the arena went black and we had a debut of Black, Aleister Black. He is no longer Malachi. And he came out he had his old WWE entrance where he came up with the candles and the coffin and looked real good. Went down to the ring, didn't say a word, and just blasted Miz with a black mass and looked like $1 million. What did you guys think?
for one, I'm glad to see him back in WWE. I think that it was everything they tried to do with him in the House of Black had a lot of potential in AEW, but it never really went anywhere, I don't think. Like it was just constant stop and start like feuds, that kind of thing. I I don't know that I'm a big fan of it being against the Miz to start. I mean, we all have our opinions of the Miz. He does the job, but it's at the end of the day, it's Mike Mizanin. Like he's how much of a brag is it to say that I beat the Miz? You know what I mean? Everybody's beating the Miz.
Well, it might be just one match with the Miz, though. He could very easily go into a program with Carmelo, which would be incredible.
Well, if it led to that, I'd be okay with it. You know what I mean? I just think that, and I like that he didn't say anything. My only disappointment out of it was he didn't get the crowd reaction I would have liked for a return like that. I think that he deserved at least a little bit better there. I will say he looked incredibly jacked though.
Yeah, look good.
Yeah, it looks like he put on a little bit of muscle. We'll see how he looks in a full match and back in WWE. But again, another great entrance. We all called it. We pretty much said that he'd be back this week, right after WrestleMania. His entrance was great. The Miz obviously he's always there to take the bump for somebody, which is great. I mean, I love the fact that he's willing to do that.
Yeah,
he's had his run. I don't think he holds enough interest from people to hold long storylines anymore. Maybe as a side character in some other storylines, but the fact that he took the black mass and it looked good. It looked good. But hey, man, I can't wait. I can't wait to see what the plans are for him. I'm very interested in what direction they're going to go. And I'm going to be honest with you. His faction in AEW, I was a fan of. I was a huge fan of everything they were doing with him. But again, wasted talent. I really hope you bring Buddy O back over to WWE and bring what's the big guy's name?
Brody.
Bring Brody over. Come over there. Bring him. I'm fine with it. And I think the WWE would know how to use some of the Buddy and Brody over and know how to use them as side characters and have their own little storylines on the side or whatnot. And you could even bring Zelina if you want into the group. Obviously, I mean, it's his wife. It'd be perfect to team them up. I mean, obviously, you look a little odd out the group for being a minority. Everybody else, all these big white guys. So,
well, and being like 4'6",
yeah, 4'6", obviously, two apples high. But yeah, I'm happy. I'm interested in which way they're going to go with them. I really hope. I mean, is Buddy still signed AEW and Brody?
Yeah, they're the War Dogs or whatever the hell they're called there now.
But when is their contracts up?
I think they both have a little while. And don't forget, Aleister Black is a minority too. He's Dutch.
God. So this led to a segment backstage after the Drew McIntyre thing that we talked about, where Bianca had it was like a broken hand, a couple of broken fingers, and made mention that she's going to be out for a little while and she's going to come back after she's fully healed. Whatever. And then this led us
Here's
into, I mean, whatever. And then this led us into, we had about 40 minutes left in the show, and this led us into probably the greatest TLC match I've seen in the last 10 years. Like, everything aside, the fact that this wasn't on WrestleMania is disgusting. But DIY versus the Street Profits versus the Motor City Machine Guns. I mean, we had multiple table spots, multiple ladder breaks. Two of the points that I wanted to call out was when the Machine Guns did a skull and crossbones on Gargano through the table off the rope, and then Dawkins with that spear off the ladder to Ciampa while he was hanging onto the titles. I mean, insanity. Like just absolute insanity. What a match. And I'm glad they gave it the time. The Profits obviously retained, but what a match. What a match.
They obviously used this match as the filler match for the end of the show.
Yeah.
And I mean, dude, anytime you can get those three guys in the ring together, you're going to get a good show. You're going to get an absolutely good show. And Motor City Machine Guns, those are my guys. I mean, they make any other tag team will look good in the ring. I've never seen them in a bad match ever. And I can't wait to see what happens when Fraxium gets involved in one of these. Could you imagine if they had 4 tag teams in this one and which way it would have went? And how exciting that match would have been?
That would have been insane.
I can't wait. But yeah, I mean, hands down, A+++++ tag match. And they did say, and again, I asked you earlier, Mike, if you had seen the interview backstage with Byron and the Street Profits after that match. And they almost did a shoot by saying that they should have been at WrestleMania. And giving all the praise to DIY and to Motor City Machine Guns during the shoot. So that's how I know that was an all-script thing. And it seemed like it really did affect them for not being in WrestleMania, the fight for those belts. Because this definitely should have been part of WrestleMania. And like you said, I think you had said it, Mike, or you, Sean, when you guys said they could have got rid of the, match.
Match.
Yeah, you could just wait till this. You could have waited till this week to put that match on.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody really cared about that. And you would have put this in. This would have helped out. To be honest with you, this probably would have helped out day 2.
Oh, for 1,000%.
This would have boosted up your entry, the popularity and the liking of night 2. But they ruined all. They completely ruined night 2 altogether. So it didn't really matter. But hands down, one of the best tag matches you'll probably ever watch in your life.
Yeah. It really is a damn shame that it wasn't on WrestleMania. And to have a gimmick match like this with tag teams of this caliber, why even if you had to do it in that stupid the advertising spot that they did for the New Day match, you could have done this match with the advertising and you would have just gotten a better quality match. More people would have tuned in. They wouldn't have used it as a bathroom break. And I mean, other than the fact that Tommaso Ciampa without a beard is absolutely terrifying, I think that the match itself was just incredible. But most TLC matches are like it's probably my favorite type of gimmick for a match as far as they go. And you get the brutal spots. You mentioned the skull and bones through the table, that spear that looked like Dawkins blew up both his knees on. Mm-hmm. And I think having the Street Profits retain was 100% the right call there. I think that they need to hold the belts until probably Fraxium wins them off of them.
Yeah. Well, actually, to be honest with you, I kind of wish they would have it would have been great if they didn't have the belts and they had this on WrestleMania. You had that match and the Street Profits win it.
Yeah.
I mean, could you imagine the pop at the end of that at WrestleMania?
Oh my God. Yeah. 60,000 people. Yeah. I mean, this seemed like the only thing on the whole show that the crowd went nuts for.
You know? Yeah.
I mean, absolutely, hands, just outstanding. So that's our episode, guys. That was Friday Night SmackDown, one of the more shocking SmackDowns of the year. A lot of stuff went on, a lot of debuts, a lot of new developments, and things are really moving fast and furious towards Backlash. So it's going to be a good show, and can't wait to see where we go next. As always, I've been Mike with 716 Sports Entertainment, and joined by Mr. T. Reese and Mr. Sean O'Neill. And guys, like, share, and subscribe. Enable those notifications. And look forward to our other content coming up. We've got the NFL videos out as well, breaking down the draft and everything surrounding the Bills and Shador Sanders, who looks like he actually went to a team. So
Where'd he go?
Cleveland.
Cleveland.
So yeah, should be an interesting season coming up. So look forward to all of our content, and thank you guys so much for the subs, and we'll talk soon.